Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and now we are in for part 2 of the SCR talk on this channel, and it's going to be a shorter video than the other one. The other one was really long because we did have to go through 25 cards and talk about them to a general degree and rate them and see where they are. But I mean, we're gonna pick up right where we left off after the normal spiel. Trying to build the channel, so you guys already know what it is. You guys might be coming fresh off the last video, so keep it short, simple, almost at 500, so close I can taste it. Let's try to get there. We're gonna have some giveaways planned out. I'm regardless going to be doing some giveaways for Vicious Rejuvenation after the pre-release this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. Discord link, if you want to join and chat with everybody, is in the description, as well as a link to the Facebook group, because it is the largest form of information that we have in this game. So thank you for your support. Hope you enjoy the content, and let's actually get right into this video that won't actually take 35 minutes. So after talking about the last content, last content video, the secret rares, I feel like archetype secret rares are kind of bad. Now don't get me wrong, I do think that archetype things that fit in with archetypes can definitely be cool, but I think that there are models to this, like how the Broly, green Broly SCR, is best played in green Broly BR, but can also be played in OG set 1 Broly, but can also be played in any green deck that has a 7-drop. So I really do feel that the deck, like I feel that secret rares are best served when they can have longevity, because then it gives you a reason to get the card and keep the card, not just working with one deck in the format that may be good this set, maybe the next set. I prefer there to be secret rares that you can kind of stockpile and actually hold over time, retain value. So that's pretty much my biggest thing. Now in this format, I also feel that cards like God Sealing Trunks, and by cards I mean card, because there's not really too many cards like God Sealing, but Super Saiyan Trunks, or Super Saiyan 2 Trunks God Sealing Technique, that card doesn't have a cap on how big of a card it can bounce back to the hand. And personally, when you play a secret rare, when you play a card so powerful that it can only be played at 1 in your deck, I don't see a reason why it should be able to be countered by a 4-of. A 4-of that gets played for free, mind you. So this may be an unpopular opinion, but even if it means nerfing some of the effects of these secret rares, I believe that every secret rare should have deflect. I think a can of worms was opened up when deflect was made as a mechanic, but or as a keyword. But I do think that all secret rares need deflect, because if you can only play one of it, it's supposed to be a game changer, whether you're stopping the battle phase or the battle phases for the turn, whether you're nuking the board, whether you're attempting to swing for a game, whether you're attempting to rip your opponent's hand, whatever these cards do, it's supposed to be a changing of the tide. And while God Sealing Trunks is a very unique card, I do feel like playing against blue and just knowing that any big play is up for grabs, that's fine. But your card with Ultimate should not be one of those cards. That should be your game changer against a deck that can say no to every one of your plays. So I personally think that all of these secret rares need deflect. Sorry, sue me. But that being said, I think that a good secret rare has protection versus counterplay, such as deflect. I believe a good secret rare can be maybe better utilized in an archetype, but can be utilized by a singular color, by a deck type. I do believe that. And then also, last but not least, I do think that SCRs should have power, but not overwhelming power. I think an SCR that you have to work in conjunction around the card, I think an SCR that's an enabler is better than an SCR that's game on a stick. You're gonna see an enabler, 2 enablers actually, in the 3 upcoming SCRs, but a thing like Cell Xeno is game on a stick. Black Smoke Shinron is an enabler. Black Smoke Shinron softens your opponent, but when I say soften, I use that word lightly because Black Smoke Shinron kind of just bludgeons your opponent over the head. But Cell will come down, be uninteractable, and then attempt to go for a game after ripping some of these cards in hand twice if you play it on 5 or more energy. So we're going to get into these secret rares, and the first one we're going to talk about in terms of how they work this set is Majin Buu Incarnation of Demonic Evil. Okay, Ultimate Double Strike. It's a counter, and I've gone over these before, but it's a counter, and basically you negate somebody's counterattack and you just drop it. Now, permanent, yeah, if your leader card's mono green, you can reduce the cost by 7, or if it's or a Demon Realm race, or if it's a Demon Realm race, you can also have no specified cost. So basically, no matter what, this guy's going to cost 3 energy. He's either going to cost 3 green, or he's going to cost 3 whatever. And he is a counter stops the attack. So basically, if you've been playing this format, you understand how things like Great Baby Ape have been going. Great Golden Ape Baby. Yeah, you swing at your opponent, they try to negate you, and then the attack that was threatening enough for them to negate it, you play Golden Ape on it, you negate the counterattack, and then you now have a removal, plus a draw on your hand, plus a 30k triple strike waiting in the wings for you to be able to go in again. Very, very Gucci. Now, this card acts the same way. Now, the kind of thing that's kind of annoying is that this card is definitely cool, because you don't see counters in green. However, one, it's missing deflect. There's a lot of things that can happen to this card that are unreasonable. 2, this card is arguably worse than Baby Great Ape. I don't know how to really go about this. Baby Great Ape is a 30k triple strike that is 2 costs more, but can also come out for just 2 cards in hand in conjunction with the Baby Unison. And Great Ape Baby will remove something through barrier and draw a card. This guy just negates the counterattack and comes down. He's double strike 40k. I do feel like this card has longevity because it's a very unique effect within its color, and it is an enabler because it allows you to push for game, stop that, and force them to have the combo power, but then still be weak to this 40k double strike that's waiting to swing right after. But not having barrier kind of hurts this for me. Or not barrier, sorry, deflect kind of hurts this for me. And the fact that for this effect, yes, again, it is great in green where green does not have effects like this, but I just can't help but feeling that an SR from last set is overall a better card for its archetype than this. Kind of hurts. So I would say that this card is a little kind of on the weakish side. Like, again, if you're running green, there's going to be very few reasons why you probably want to run Xenocell instead. So I'd assume that you're playing Turles, in which case you could be either using the Ape or this, because Turles doesn't even really have the space to play 3 energy. It's a very on-curve deck, I feel like. So it's kind of weird, and that's also 3 energy. You have to hold up 3 energy. You have to have your game push on board, swing, get negated, and tap 3 energy. It's very clunky to me. So that's kind of that. Moving on to the next one, you got Super Paikuhan, Might Manifested. This guy's kind of weird too. Ultimate, double strike, dual attack. When this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand. You may choose 1 card from their hand with an energy cost 7 or less, place it at the bottom of its owner's deck, then your opponent draws 1 card. Okay, now you can play this guy for 4 blue. If your leader card is blue and your energy is mono blue and your opponent has 4 more energy, play this card from your hand. If you do, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and return them to the owner's hand. Okay, so here's what we're gonna get at here. I personally think this card is just conceptually awkward. 40k double strike dual attack is cool. All right, this guy can potentially do half somebody's life on his own. The second part of his effect, well, outside the keywords is auto, is crazy because it gives you mad information. Being able to see your opponent's hand not once but twice in a turn is insane. Now the parts that are gonna kind of get really weird is that you get to bottom deck a card and it caps at 7. So there's a lot of cards it gets, but there's some cards it doesn't. Like, you can never snipe your opponent's secret rare, but then again, a secret rare has almost never been able to kill another secret rare if it has like a hand looking effect. The point is, you can definitely whiff on this, and the thing that kills me is that you don't just give them a minus. It's like if you're swinging with this guy, chances are you're going to be giving them 2 cards anyway from the double strike. But this, you rip a card from their hand, and then they get to draw a card. So they replace the card you just ripped, and it could be a new option. It could be better than the card you put back. So that's kind of a little unnecessary to me for being a secret rare. And then the fact that you can only cheat this guy out when your opponent has 4 more energy. So if they go first, you can't even play this on their turn 4 because you only have 3 energy. If you go first, you can't play it on your turn 4 because they only have 3 energy. So either way, you're going to be playing this by tapping out on your turn 4 to their 5 energy, or you're going to be playing this on your 5th energy to their 4 energy. And by then, the game is a little probably more complex than your opponent playing a double strike dual attack for 40k. On top of this, you bounce all of your opponent's cards back that don't have barrier, therefore giving your opponent probably more combo power to outpower this guy's swing. So all in all, I don't really understand the point of this card. Blue is already the king of 4-drops. You've got a Booney, you've got Maturin or whatever, the Muscle Mode dude. You got the new Gotenks coming out. Like, this deck has no trouble pumping out really good 4-drops. So when you look at this guy and you compare him to something like Baby Hatch, which can save you from losing the game upon being played, I don't think this in any reality does this PyCon ever replace Baby Hatch in a deck. You cannot make me play this over Baby Hatch. Like, I will draw this card, and again, he has no deflect, so chances are, I mean, you can get God Sealing. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff they can have in this card. And on top of that, you know, you swing, you see their hand, you put 1 card back, they draw a card that's a mystery, then you give them 2 mystery cards from life if it connects. All right, I'm not trying to be petty, but I definitely don't like this card. So we're gonna move on to the last one. Supreme Kai of Time, Space Time Unraveler. This is the golden egg of the bunch. Ultimate, if this card will be removed from your battle area, removed from the game instead, so you can't loop it. And also you can't bounce it. So if they God Sealing it, it goes back to your hand, but if they bounce it from field or anything, it just gets warped. So it's like Hatch in that regard. Be careful with that. But activate main 1. Choose this card and all of your cards in your opponent's battle area, battle cards, your opponent's battle cards and unison cards, and send them to your owner's warps. Cool. So this is one of the only cards in the game that nukes, but also takes the unisons with it. Actually, it might be the only card. It's a very unique effect. And then you can also cheat into battle by paying 1 energy, and you can play this card from your hand. And if you do, your opponent can attack with leader cards, unison cards for the turn. Cool. So this is actually really, really crazy, because this card allows black to warp boards, and that's not an effect that black has access to readily. On top of that, blue is a hard problem for some of the more popular black decks like Dark Broly, because the unison on board keeps your opponent on lock. You're able to hit them with cheaper prospects. You're able to hit them with the God Sealings. Well, when you can set this up on your opponent's turn and they can't interact with it, and then you start off the turn by just paying 1 or paying 1 and blowing up their unison, they now have to pay full price for everything. And that is way more trouble than a lot of blue decks could say is worth. That's actually dangerous. They might have to go Sensu. They might have to open up with a demaging instead of that prospects. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong when you resolve this card for your blue opponent. But also, Wrath is very, very good for a black deck. On top of that, its protection effect is cool too, because you stop the unisons, which again, not really things that have ever been in the game, and then you get to stop the leader. So paired with cards like something like Protector of the People, you are likely going to be able to just lock your opponent out of an entire battle phase. Like, what are they gonna do? You put up Protector and you stop them swinging with their leader in the unison. Okay, they swing with your battle cards, unless they're Dark Broly and swinging with 30Ks, you're probably just gonna live that turn immaculately. So this card is very, very good, and it's generic. Any deck can play it. This is a good card for potentially any deck, and that is the mark of a secret rare. This card doesn't break the game, but this card is definitely utility in a massive way, and it can be slotted into any deck. So, all right, let's go over this. When it comes to these 3 secret rares, I definitely think that Bandai is still kind of afraid to make something as powerful as Xenocell, or they're just straight up choosing not to make anything remotely on that level. Super Pycon, borderline joke. Majin Buu, decent. I don't know where the green decks find the energy to play 3 offensively and already having game on board, because that means they had to add game on board last turn and somehow didn't win, somehow didn't get their stuff clapped. So that's kind of wild. But then also Supreme Kai of Space Time, the Space Time Unraveler, is very much so in a vein to me like Baby Hatchiyak. It's not as good as Baby Hatchiyak, because again, Baby Hatchiyak can stop you from losing the game. But this card is great. Again, every deck can use it. It offers very unique Wrath, and it stops Unisons from attacking and can blow up Unisons too. So I do think that Supreme Kai of Time is a very, 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 very good card, and the best one out of this set when it comes to secret rares. Probably the best secret rare we've gotten since Baby Hatch. So to end this video, I want to talk about where I feel like they should go for here. I think that when it comes to a secret rare, every secret rare should be playable in its color, but I do think that they should be better, more easily played in their archetype. I feel like Green Broly was the best example of that. Like I said, can be played in any green deck with the right numbers, but he just full loaded out like clockwork with Green Broly VR. I feel like everything should be like that, you know? Like, oh, you can force this guy out for a cheat out price. Oh, but if you happen to have 3 Dark Broly's on board, this guy darn near comes out like Xenocell smooth. I think that when you do that, not only do you ensure that your secret rare card that you fished for I don't know how many packs can stay in the game for much, much longer periods, if not the entirety of the game, but you also, like, in Bandai's terms, that just helps their bottom line. People will buy more sealed product to pull that secret rare, and it's going to be great when you know that your secret rare isn't just going to fizzle because in a set or two they stop printing cards for your deck. I feel like there's a lot of cases like that. Like, look at the Broly SCR. Again, 2 decks can run it. Are they ever going to make more decks? Maybe. Who knows? Look at how many of the SCRs are not played anymore. You've got a card that's just freaking good like this, but at the end of the day, you know, it's power crept. It has to swing. It is open to God Ceiling. You have to pay 5, which is hard for most decks to do outside of blue, maybe yellow, but for a black deck to tap 5 and just, okay, this card can get messed up in a bunch of different ways. Heck no. Heck no. Black Smoke Dragon, same thing because it costs the same amount. This thing comes out for 1. Supreme Kai comes out for 1. That's wild. Power creep is real. But I definitely think that in the future, secret rares should work with an archetype very well, maybe 2 archetypes very well, but they should be usable in other decks as long as you share the correct color. Maybe just a not much harder, but just a harder way, you know? Essentially soft. You can't hard cast a 10 drop, but maybe, you know, you can soft cast it for 4 or 5. But, you know, in the right deck, it can get kind of circumvened because of the way mechanics are. We'll see. So, yeah, that's my video. I think that's where they should go with secret rares. I think that, again, since set 9, we have had a massive decline in power levels. But to be honest, that's not exactly a bad thing because Apex was nutty in the deck it was in. Cell Xeno was overtuned and can be played in far too many decks. And Black Smoke Dragon, while being a very good card, was just a little too costly to keep up with the current meta because 5 energy is 5 energy. So I think they need to make sure that they look at the playability of these cards, not just for the set. Not just, ooh, this shiny Gogeta goes with all of my other Gogeta cards. No, I think they need to make sure that their secret rares can be like, oh cool, look, there's a Super Saiyan 4 secret rare Gogeta card that goes with my Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta archetype in yellow. Yeah. Or though, you know, I can play this card in any yellow deck, I just can't Union Fusion into it. I have to get it out on its other summoning condition or something like that. Just something like that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I do think that in conclusion, yeah, unfortunately, Vicious Rejuvenation is on the weaker end with its SCRs, and that's just been a trend since set 9, well, after set 9. I hope they can change it around because I really like seeing these secret rares actually be fun. But when you have a card that can literally by game mechanics only be at 1, it needs to come with a bang, and it needs to not be able to be smashed by a free counterplay. So yeah, if you have anything to say, just leave it in the comments, and I do look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Thanks, and you guys have a great day. I guess next time you see me, we'll be doing box opening. Enjoy your pre-releases if you're going this weekend. Peace.